Hare Krishna, welcome to this episode of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Today we will continue the first chapter of Madhya Leela from the verse 44 onwards. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya, Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्तराधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गे राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we're continuing Madhya Leela, chapter 1, text 44 onwards. We have been actually reading the scriptures that were written by the Goswamis. I think Sanatana Goswamis we have read, Rupa Goswamis, a few we have read, the principal ones. And we were currently reading the Jīva Gosvāmī's books. And Prabhupada is nicely giving the summary, a very, very succinct summary of the books that these Goswamis have written. So 44 onwards. Gopala Campu name grantha mahashura nitya leela sthapan jahe vrajarasa pura. The most famous and formidable transcendental literature is the book named Gopala Campu. In this book, the eternal pastimes of the Lord are established and the transcendental mellows enjoyed in Vrindavan are completely described. Well, I have a copy of the Gopala Campu. It's the biggest book I have. It's this thick, literally. This thick. I'm not even exaggerating. But I haven't read it. So, purport. In his Anubhashya, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives the following information about the Gopala Campu. The Gopala Campu is divided into two parts. The first part is called the Eastern Wave and the second part is called the Northern Wave. In the first part, there are 33 supplications and in the second part, 37 supplications. What is a supplication? For me, the understanding is a prayer or something like that. Yeah. The action of asking or begging for something earnestly or humbly. He fell to his knees in supplication. So, yeah, it's asking for something in a humble way. Prayers. Okay, so in the first part, completed in 1510 Shakabda AD, 1510 Shakabda, which corresponds to 1588 AD, the following subject matters are discussed: Vrindavan and Goloka, The killing of the Putana demon, the gopis returning home under the instructions of Mother Yashoda, the bathing of Lord Krishna and Balaram, and Snigdha and Madhukantha, the dream of Mother Yashoda, the Janmashtami ceremony, the meeting between Nanda Maharaj and Vasudev, and the killing of the Putana demon. The pastimes of awakening from bed, the deliverance of the demon Shakata, and the name-giving ceremony. The killing of the Trinavarta demon, Lord Krishna's eating dirt, Lord Krishna's childish naughtiness, and Lord Krishna as a thief. Number 8, churning of the yogurt, Krishna's drinking from the breast of Mother Yashoda, the breaking of the yogurt pot, Krishna bound with ropes, the deliverance of the two brothers, Yamalarjuna, and the lamentation of Mother Yashoda. 9. Entering Sri Vrindavan. 10. The killing of Vatsasura, Bakasura, and Vyomasura. 11. The killing of Aghasura and the bewilderment of Lord Brahma. 12. The tending of the cows in the forest. Number 13. Taking care of the cows and chastising the Kaliya serpent. 14. The killing of Gardabhasura, the ass demon, and the praise of Krishna. 15. The previous attraction of the gopis. 16. The killing of Pralambasura and the eating of the forest fire. 17. The gopis' attempt to approach Krishna. 18. The lifting of Govardhan hill. 19. Bathing Krishna with milk. 20. The return of Nanda Maharaj from the custody of Varuna and the vision of Goloka Vrindavan by the Gopas. You see, some of these pastimes are there in Bhagavatam. So I think, I'm just guessing, that there are more added details or nuances or something, explanations like that, probably. Vision of Goloka Vrindavan by the Gopas. That's definitely not there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So these are some of the additional details. 21. The performance of the rituals in Katyayani Vrata and the worship of the goddess Durga. 22. The begging of food from the wives of the Brahmanas, performing sacrifices. 23. The meeting of Krishna and the gopis. 24. Krishna's enjoying the company of the gopis, the disappearance of Radha and Krishna from the scene, and the search for them by the gopis. This is all the Ras Leela section. 25. Actually, these 5 chapters of the Ras Leela are called Rasa Panchadhyay. Adhyay means chapter, Pancha means 5, Rasa means Rasa. Ras Leela. Rasa Panchadhyay. Usually professional reciters, they focus on the Rasa Panchadhyay, but they don't read the rest of the Bhagavatam. Only that is their Bhagavad Katha. What is that? And then that is also in the perverted manner. So that's not encouraged. So 24, Krishna is enjoying the company of the gopis. Okay, this we have read. 25, the reappearance of Krishna. 26, the determination of the gopis. 27, pastimes in the waters of the Yamuna. 28, the deliverance of Nanda Maharaj from the clutches of the serpent. 29, various pastimes in solitary places. 30, the killing of Shankachuda and the Hori. 31, the killing of Arishtasura. 32, the killing of the Keshi demon. 33, the appearance of Sri Narad Muni and a description in which the book was completed. What book? Oh, Gopala Campu. In the second part, known as Uttara Campu, the following subject matters are discussed. 1. Attraction for Vrajabhumi. 2. The cruel activities of Akrura. Krura means cruel. Akrura means not cruel. But the cruel activities of the not cruel. For the gopis, Akrura was very cruel, because he took Krishna and Balaram away from them to Mathura and they never came back after that. So for them, he is horror personified. He's a terrorist for them. 3. Krishna's departure for Mathura. 4. A description of the city of Mathura. 5. The killing of Kamsa. 6. Nanda Maharaj's separation from Krishna and Balaram. 7. Nanda Maharaj's entrance into Vrindavan without Krishna and Balaram. That must be very painful, transcendentally. Number 8. The studies of Krishna and Balaram. 9. How the son of the teacher of Krishna and Balaram was returned. 10. Uddhava's visit to Vrindavan. 11. Radharani is talking with the messenger bumblebee. 12. The return of Uddhava from Vrindavan. 13. The binding of Jarasandha. 14. The killing of Kalayavana. 15. The marriage of Balaram. 16. The marriage of Rukmini. 17. 7 marriages. This is of Krishna. 18. The killing of Narakasura. The taking of the Parijat flower from heaven and Krishna's marriage to 16,000 princesses. 19. Victory over Banasura. 20. A description of Balaram's return to Vraja. 21. The killing of Paundraka, the imitation Vishnu. 22. The killing of Dvivida and thoughts of Hastinapur. 23. Departure for Kurukshetra. 24. How the residents of Vrindavan and Dwarka met at Kurukshetra. 25. Krishna's consultation with Uddhava. 26. The deliverance of the king. 27. The performance of the Rajasuya sacrifice. 28. The killing of Shalva. 29. Krishna's considering returning to Vrindavan. 30. Krishna's revisiting Vrindavan. 31. The adjustment of obstructions by Srimati Radharani and others. 32. Everything completed. 33. The residence of Radha and Madhava. 34. Decorating Srimati Radharani and Krishna. 35. The marriage ceremony of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. So this is Brahma Vaivarta Puran has this description, but maybe some other details are mentioned here. 36. The meeting of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. And 37. Entering Goloka. There is Gopala Campu. I have it right there. Okay, so next. এই মত নানা গ্রন্থ করিয়া প্রকাশ গোষ্ঠী সহিতে কইলা বৃন্দাবনে বাস. Thus, Srila Rupa Gosvami, Sanatana Goswami, and their nephew Srila Jīva Gosvami, as well as practically all of their family members, lived in Vrindavan and published important books on devotional service. Prathama vatsare Advaita Adi Bhakta Gan Prabhure Dekhite Koilo Niladri Gaman. The first year after Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the renounced order of life, all the devotees headed by Sri Advaita Prabhu went to see the Lord at Jagannath Puri. Ratha-yatra dekhita rahila charimas Prabhu sange nritya gita parama ullas. After attending the Ratha-yatra ceremony at Jagannath Puri, all the devotees remained there for 4 months, greatly enjoying the company of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu by performing kirtan, chanting and dancing. विदाय समय प्रभु कहिला सबारे प्रत्यब्द आशिबे सबे गुंडीचा देखिबारे. At the time of departure, the Lord requested all the devotees, please come here every year to see the Ratha-yatra festival of Lord Jagannath's journey to the Gundicha temple. Purport. There is a temple named Gundicha at Sundarachal. Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra are pulled in their 3 carts from the temple in Puri to the Gundicha temple in Sundarachal. In Orissa, this Ratha-yatra festival is known as Jagannath's journey to Gundicha. Whereas others speak of it as the Ratha-yatra festival, the residents of Orissa refer to it as the Gundicha Yatra. And, Jagannath's mercy, today we just came back. Since early morning, we went to Malaysia. Our 3 Raths, our 3 chariots are parked there after every year's Ratha-yatra. We brought the chariots to Singapore, to our temple now. And the renovation works for the chariots will starting tomorrow. The Ratha-yatra preparations are well underway, but the chariots have just arrived. That's the news from Singapore. प्रभु आज्ञाय भक्त गण प्रत्यब्दासिया गुंडीचा देखिया जाना प्रभु रे मिलिया. Following the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees used to visit Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu every year. They would see the Gundicha festival at Jagannath Puri and then return home after 4 months. Incidentally, our Singapore Ratha-yatra also has become something like that. All the devotees from ISKM from different parts of the world, they come and meet during Ratha-yatra in Singapore. And the preparations for devotees to come are just about to begin here in Singapore for this year's Ratha-yatra. So that's kind of similar to, of course, the scale is much bigger in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time and also Jagannath Puri. But in a small way, our ISKM is doing this in Singapore as well. विंशतिवत्सर ऐच्छे कोयलागतागति अन्योन्य दुहार दुहा विना नाहि स्थिति. For 20 consecutive years, this meeting took place, and the situation became so intense that the Lord and the devotees could not be happy without meeting one another. शेषार जय रहे द्वादश वत्सर कृष्णर विरह लीला प्रभुर अंतर. The last 12 years were simply devoted to relishing the pastimes of Krishna in separation within the heart of the Lord. Purport: Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enjoyed the position of the gopis in separation from Krishna. So how is this enjoyed? So this is very transcendental. It's not exactly mundane. It's aprakrita lila. It cannot even be. The Lord is already named Adhokshaja, which means we cannot approach the Lord with our material senses and understanding. This goes even beyond Adhokshaja, Aprakrita. So, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enjoyed the position of the gopis in separation from Krishna. In fact, this is the highest. If we read Ramananda Samvad, the conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai, this is the limit, the uppermost zenith limit of devotional service. The service in separation. Service of the gopis in separation of Krishna. So, continuing, when Krishna left the gopis and went to Mathura, the gopis cried for him the rest of their lives, feeling intense separation from him. This ecstatic feeling of separation was specifically advocated by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through his actual demonstrations. So, not only this happened, this discussion took place between Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the last 12 years of his manifest pastimes in this world, tasted this to the highest limit in the mood of Radharani. Nirantara ratri dina viraha unmade hase kande nache gaye parama vishade. In the attitude of separation, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared mad both day and night. Sometimes he laughed and sometimes he cried, sometimes he danced and sometimes he chanted in great sorrow. जय काले करे न जगन्नाथ दर्शन मने भावे कुरुक्षेत्रे पायाछि मिलन. At those times, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would visit Lord Jagannath. Then his feelings exactly corresponded to those of the gopis when they saw Krishna at Kurukshetra after long separation. Krishna had come to Kurukshetra with his brother and sister to visit. Purport: When Krishna was performing yajna, sacrifice at Kurukshetra, he invited all the inhabitants of Vrindavan to come see him. Lord Chaitanya's heart was always filled with separation from Krishna, but as soon as he heard the opportunity to visit the Jagannath temple, he became fully absorbed in the thoughts of the gopis who came to see Krishna at Kurukshetra. So this is the intimate connection between Jagannath Puri, Vrindavan and Mayapur. And this is why these three dhams or places of pilgrimage are the chief places of pilgrimage for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Vrindavan, Mathura is one place, especially Vrindavan. And then Mayapur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Jagannath Puri. We understand Jagannath Puri is Krishna, but there is a special flavor. Krishna, Balaram, Subhadra, they were there in Kurukshetra. The Bhagavatam actually narrates this. whole incident. And the Vrindavan Masas also came there. And this was the meeting of the gopis with Krishna after almost 100 years. 100 years, 100 years they spent in separation from Krishna. And after that, they were meeting. So it was very intense, transcendently intense emotions. And that is the feeling that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had when he saw the Lord at Jagannath Puri, in the Jagannath Puri temple. रथयात्राए आगे जबे करे न नर्तन ताहा ए पद मात्र करो ये गायन. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to dance before the car during the festival, he always sang the following two lines. Shet prananath paino jaha lage madan dahane jhuri geno. So actually this is a little bit different tune, in fact. Shet prananath paino jaha lage madan dahane jhuri geno. So I have gotten that Lord of my life for whom I was burning in the fire of lusty desires. So he used to sing this when he used to dance in front of the Jagannath cart. But of course, this is we can't really sing this because this is a very, very high platform. I have gotten that Lord of my life for whom I was burning in the fire of lusty desires. Purport. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10:29-15, it is stated, कामं क्रोधं भयं स्नेहम् ऐक्यं सौहृदमेव च नित्यं हरौ विदधतो yanti tanmayatam hite. The word kama means lusty desire, bhaya means fear, and krodha means anger. If one somehow or other approaches Krishna, his life becomes successful. The gopis approached Krishna with lusty desire. Krishna was a very beautiful boy and they wanted to meet and enjoy his company. But this lusty desire is different from that of the material world. It appears like mundane lust, but in actuality it is the highest form of attraction to Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a sannyasi. He left home and everything else. He could certainly not be induced by any mundane lusty desires. So when he used the word madana dahane, in the fire of lusty desire, he meant that out of pure love for Krishna, he was burning in the fire of separation from Krishna. Whenever he met Jagannath, either in the temple or during the Ratha-yatra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to think, now I have gotten the Lord of my life and soul. You see the intensity with which he takes darshan of the Lord. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always seeing the Lord in the heart. He is the Lord, moreover. And yet, he is teaching us the limit, the upper limit of how to actually take darshan of the Lord. How to have darshan of the Lord. Of course, we cannot imitate this. This is not anything to be imitated. But with great feeling, we have to offer prayers that are offered by the Lord. By the devotees. In this way, we have to see the deity. He is, again, the word karma is mentioned here. And this karma, when the language falls short of the actual description of the situation, the transcendental situation of the gopis, that's not anything to be surprised about. Because mundane words cannot enter into this, and therefore karma is used here, which if you literally translate it is just lusty desires, and that is the samsara davanala, madana dahane. So that is the some material fire that we are under, that we are burning in. He used that expression, but he used in a very, very different way. And it serves two purposes. One is that for devotees, it reminds them of the perverted nature of this material world. So everything that exists in this material world is only a reflection of the reality in the spiritual world. And therefore, even the lusty desires that are found here are only a reflection of the real lust, which is actually not lust, it's love, but it resembles lust. So the original thing is there. Original sex life is there in the spiritual world. But here the sex life is so abominable. There it is the highest. And that is Radha Krishna love. Ei dhuya gane nachen dvitiya prahara Krishna laya vraje jai ei bhavantara. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to sing the song Shaita Prananath, especially during the latter part of the day, and he would think, let me take Krishna and go back to Vrindavan. This ecstasy was always filling his heart. Purport: being always absorbed in the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt the same separation from Krishna that Srimati Radharani felt when Krishna left Vrindavan and went to Mathura. This ecstatic feeling is very helpful in attaining love of God in separation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught everyone that one should not be overly anxious to see the Lord, but should rather feel separation from Him in ecstasy. It is actually better to feel separation from Him than to desire to see Him face to face. When the gopis of Vrindavan, the residents of Gokula, met Krishna at Kurukshetra during the solar eclipse, they wanted to take Krishna back to Vrindavan. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also felt the same ecstasy as soon as he saw Jagannath in the temple or on the Ratha-yatra car. The gopis of Vrindavan did not like the opulence of Dwarka. They wanted to take Krishna to the village of Vrindavan and enjoy his company in the groves. So, okay, we need to expand on some of the aspects here. Okay, in the purport, very, very interesting. Of course, as devotees, you might know already this thing. This ecstatic feeling is very helpful in attaining love of God in separation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught everyone that one should not be overly anxious to see the Lord. It's quite the opposite of what we usually are used to by outsiders. I mean, by usually people in general, they want to see the Lord. But here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us we should not be overly anxious to see the Lord. Why? Because we should rather feel separation from Him in ecstasy. It is actually better to feel separation from Him than to desire to see Him face to face. This is so paradoxical. We cannot understand this. In the material world, it's just impossible. Because the omniscience and omnipotence and omnipresence of the Lord is only there in the Lord. It's not there in anybody else. So in this material world, if I feel separation from someone, it's only within me, the feeling of separation. That separation, the thought of that person, does not make that person present. We may feel that person because of our reminiscence of his activities, but in actuality, that person is not there. But Krishna being omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient, it's very different now in Krishna's case. Why? Because when I remember Krishna, remembrance of Krishna and Krishna are non-different. Name of Krishna and Krishna are non-different. The qualities of Krishna and Krishna are non-different. The book of Krishna and Krishna are non-different. This is very different now from what we are and compared to what Krishna is. Therefore, when we think of Krishna intensely, Krishna is already there. And one feels this ecstasy, and that's why it is called ecstasy. It is not called something like, tragedy. The ecstasy of separation, it's not called the tragedy of separation. In the material world, it is a tragedy. But in the spiritual world, It's ecstasy. Spiritual world, when I say spiritual world, Krishna consciousness, when one is in Krishna consciousness, he's already in the spiritual world. So in the spiritual domain, separation is ecstasy and not a tragedy. There's no tragedy in the spiritual life. Susukham kartum avyayam. And the so-called tragedy that it appears to be, the sorrow that the gopis felt, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is feeling, that is actually an ecstatic feature. And therefore, what to speak? The gopis are praying like this. This is from Sri Padyavali of Rupa Gosvami, I think written by Raghunandan, I think. I don't know who wrote it. But this is how Radharani's feeling is. You see, Radharani, Srimati Radharani is Tam Prati Sri Radha Vakhyam. Srimati Radharani's reply. This is what she's saying. Sangama Viraha Vikalpe Varamiha Viraho Sangama Viraha Vikalpe Varamiha Viraho na Sangamantasya Ekah sa eva sange Tribhuvanamapi tanmayam virahe. Separation from Krishna is better than meeting him. When I meet him, there is only one Krishna in front of my eyes. Of course, I love to meet him. But when I am separated from him, the three worlds become filled with Krishnas. And I want many Krishnas. I want everywhere. Like Rupa Goswami is saying, I want millions and millions of ears so that I can hear the holy name. I want millions of tongues to chant the holy name. Prithu Maharaj also saying. So I want to see Krishna everywhere. And that is not possible when he's there. I see him only in one place. But when he's not there, I see him everywhere. So I prefer that he's not there. And this is the reason why the gopis did not want to go to Mathura or Dwaraka. You may say, like, in the purport, later down in the purport, sorry. You see here, it is actually better to feel separation from him than to desire to see him face to face. When the gopis of Vrindavan, the residents of Gokula, met Krishna at Kurukshetra during the solar eclipse, they wanted to take Krishna back to Vrindavan. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also felt the same ecstasy as soon as he saw Jagannath in the temple or on the Ratha-yatra car. You see here, the gopis of Vrindavan did not like the opulence of Dwarka. Now, how can a pure devotee not like the opulence of Dwarka, where Dwarka is a spiritual place, is connected with Krishna? Why the gopis are not? They don't like the opulence of Dwarka. They prefer the in fact, not just prefer is the wrong word. They only want to serve Krishna in the mood of Vrindavan. In Dwaraka, he, acquires or, has this kingly duties and, as a king. That is not how they want to see him. They just want to see him as a simple cowherd boy, and that is with whom they have the relation. Now, again, in the material world, a boy may be simple and happy-go-lucky kind of boy, and then eventually he may become a great warrior and a great statesman. And that time his responsibilities, his domain of activities, all may change when he becomes an adult. And to think of the boy years of that boy is just hallucination, because the body keeps changing. The thing about Krishna, though, is that Vrindavanam parityajya padamekam na gacchati. That means Krishna does not leave Vrindavan, even one step out of Vrindavan he does not go. Then what happened when Krishna went with Akrura to Mathura and then eventually Dwarka? Well, that is an expansion of Krishna. The real Krishna has never left Vrindavan. This is very, very, very confidential. So this is explained by Rupa Gosvami also, very briefly in the Nectar of Devotion as well. And this is very, very, how to say, confidential matter. that Krishna actually never leaves Vrindavan. And if one may say that the gopis, if they're feeling so much separation, they could have always gone to Dwarka and no matter. But in order for them to feel the Vrindavan and not go to Dwarka, they have their families there. That is actually an illusion because their Krishna is their everything. They don't have any other material families. But it makes it look that they cannot go away from Vrindavan. But that has a very higher purpose, very confidential purpose. What is that? That by thinking of Krishna in Vrindavan mood, they are always with Krishna. And in fact, they enjoyed Krishna's company even more than when they had the Ras Leela. Just imagine, even during Ras Leela, although Krishna was expanded to as many gopis were there, that many Krishnas were there. In fact, one Krishna was dancing with two gopis, and every gopi was thinking that Krishna is dancing with me only. And if they saw Krishna in front of them, and that's how they saw. Although he was with every other gopi, he expanded into many millions of forms. Many millions of gopis were there. Now, although Krishna expanded into millions of forms, they saw him only as one Krishna, each gopi. Now, when he was not there, when he went to Mathura Dwarka, they saw him everywhere. Paradoxical. But in spiritual life, this is the greatest ecstasy. To see Krishna everywhere. And it is not that they're just imagining to see Krishna. No, Krishna is there. Krishna is there. So this is the secret behind the mood of the gopis and they're not wanting to leave Vrindavan. It's not that they were lazy and going to Dwarka or something, or they were just adamant, no, I don't care whether you become statesman. You have to become again a small boy for us, and you have to be with us. They're not hallucinating anything here. They're actually enjoying the same Krishna that they enjoyed Ras Leela with. And the word enjoy is again in if you take it materially, it's wrong. But just as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used kama, madana dahane. So it looks like enjoyment, kama, lusty, but it's not. When they say they enjoyed Krishna's company, no, they want Krishna to enjoy. And they just cooperated with his enjoyment. That is Ras Leela. So anyway, the gopis of Vrindavan did not like the opulence of Dwarka. They wanted to take Krishna to the village of Vrindavan and enjoy his company in the groves. This desire was also felt by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he danced in ecstasy before the Ratha-yatra festival when Lord Jagannath went to Gundicha. So this is the deep significance of Ratha-yatra festival. So because in Kurukshetra also the Lord came in opulent chariots because he was a king. And the gopis, when they met him, they wanted to pull him. Of course, they could not physically pull him because social stigma. Externally, it looks like social stigma, but in their hearts, they were pulling him back to Vrindavan. But they could not do it physically. Whereas Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Krishna, Balram, Subhadra, this Rath-yatra happens, when he pulls the chariot, he's pulling him back to Vrindavan. So that is the mood in which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to participate in the Ratha-yatra festival. So, এই ভাবে নৃত্য মধ্যে পড়ে এক শ্লোক সেই শ্লোকের অর্থ কেহ নাহি বুঝে লোক. In that ecstasy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited a verse when dancing in front of Lord Jagannath. Almost no one could understand the meaning of that verse. Oh wow. यह कौमारः रहस एव हि वरस् ता एव चैत्रक्षपास् तेजोन्मीलितमालती सुरभयः प्रौढाः कदम्बानिलाः सा चैवांसि तथापि तत्र सुरता व्यापारलीलाविधौ रेवारोधसि वेतसि तरुतले चेतः samutkanthate. Beautiful verse. And Rupa Goswami actually explains this. That is explained later on. Let's see. That very personality who stole away my heart during my youth is now again my master. These are the same moonlit nights of the month of Chaitra. The same fragrance of malati flowers is there, and the same sweet breezes are blowing from the Kadamba forest. In our intimate relationship, I am also the same lover, yet still my mind is not happy here. I am eager to go back to that place on the bank of the Reva under the Vetasi tree. That is my desire. So, of course, now we know that this is Radharani's mood of inviting Krishna. But when he chanted this, because you see, now we have literature to explain, like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining to us, and we know the internal reason of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's coming. We have in the Adilila a whole chapter on that. So, we are now aware. But when he was, I mean, to an extent, when I'm saying aware, at least we are aware that that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feeling here in this verse. But when he was actually chanting it, only very confidential devotees they knew what he was chanting. Because if you see, there is no mention of Radha or Krishna, nothing. You see, it's just like a girl wanting the association of a boy. Yah kaumara haraha. So this is a very deep, deep verse. But it looks like very cryptic. What is this? Like some lusty poem. And that too way after marriage. The woman is still thinking of her boyfriend. It looks like that. So, but it's not. Purport. This verse appears in the Padyavali 386, an anthology of verses compiled by Sri Rupa Gosvami. এই শ্লোকের অর্থ জানে একলে স্বরূপ দৈবে সে বৎসর তাহা গিয়াছেন রূপ. This verse appears to be the hankering between some ordinary boy and girl, but its actual deep meaning was known only to Swarup Damodar. By chance, one year, Rupa Goswami was also present there. प्रभु मुखे लोक सुने श्री रूप गोसाई সেই শ্লোকের অর্থ শ্লোক করিলা তথায়. Although the meaning of the verse was known only to Swarup Damodar, Rupa Goswami, after hearing it from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, immediately composed another verse that described the meaning of the original verse. শ্লোক করে একতাল পত্রেতে লিখাইয়া শ্লোক করে একতাল পত্রেতে লিখিয়া আপনা বাসার চালে রাখিল গুঞ্জিয়া. After composing this verse, Rupa Goswami wrote it on a palm leaf and put it on the roof of the thatched house in which he was living. Look at how he's শ্লোক রাখি গেলা সমুদ্র স্নান করিতে হেন কালে আইলা প্রভু তাহারে মিলিতে. After composing this verse and putting it on the roof of his house, Srila Rupa Goswami went to bathe in the sea. In the meantime, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to his hut to meet him. Haridasa Thakur Ara Rupa Sanatan Jagannath Mandire na janati na jan. To avoid turmoil, three great personalities, Haridas, Thakur, Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami, did not enter the temple of Jagannath. So I think in the purport, Prabhupada mentions, it is still the practice at Jagannath temple not to allow those to enter who do not strictly follow the Vedic culture known as Hinduism. Srila Haridas Thakur, Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami had previous intimate connections with Muslims. Haridas Thakur had been born in a Muslim family, and Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami, having given up their social status in Hindu society, had been appointed ministers in the Muslim government. They had even changed their names to Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik. Thus, they had supposedly been expelled from Brahmana society. Consequently, out of humility, they did not enter the temple of Jagannath, although the personality of Godhead Jagannath, in his form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, personally came to see them every day. Similarly, the members of this Krishna Consciousness Society are sometimes refused entrance into some of the temples in India. We should not feel sorry about this as long as we engage in chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Krishna himself associates with devotees who are chanting his holy name, and there is no need to be unhappy over not being able to enter a certain temple. Such dogmatic prohibitions were not approved by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Those who were thought unfit to enter the Jagannath temple were daily visited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this indicates that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not approve of the prohibitions. To avoid unnecessary turmoil, however, these great personalities would not enter the Jagannath temple. Now, of course, the reason why Muslims were not allowed to enter, there was a, plausible reason, because at that time the Muslims, they were invading like anything India and Bharat, and destroying so many temples. So they did not want any Muslim to come and disturb, and that's the reason why it started. But now that danger is far from over, and they should understand these things. So Prabhupada makes a very important point here. Now, of course, we try to respect the place as dham, this holy place. Let's not, you know, create any turmoil or turbulence here, and we accept that, I won't be allowed in the temple. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his personal example, showed that Haridas Thakur, Sanatana, and Rupa Goswamis were personally visited by him. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually, he does not condone these banning of people. And nowadays, how do you know if it's a Hindu or a Muslim? What if a Muslim just comes like a Hindu, and they will be allowed into the Jagannath temple? So only when it is foreigners, like, whites or Chinese, then they're definitely not allowed. So it's about foreigners not being allowed. But if a Hindu comes into the Jagannath temple, nobody would know if he dresses like a Hindu, Muslim, sorry, a Muslim, if he dresses like a Hindu, and if he goes into the Jagannath temple, nobody would know. He could easily go. So anyway, it is all now distorted, and the very fact, we accept it, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here, Prabhupada is saying that by visiting them, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually in, he does not approve of the prohibitions. Then you may ask, then he could have actually stopped it. Why did he not stop it? Well, except for these three others, there was a present danger at the time that, such people were not allowed. But for devotees, they should be allowed. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you know, visited them personally. Who's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He's Jagannath himself. So although they did not allow them to see Jagannath, Jagannath came and saw them every day in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jai Gaura Shai Krishna Shai Jagannath. Vasudev Ghosh song. महाप्रभु जगन्नाथेर उपल भोग देखिया निज गृहे जानु ए तिनरे मिलिया. Every day Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to see the Upala Bhog ceremony at the temple of Jagannath, and after seeing this, he used to go visit these three great personalities on his way to his own residence. Purport: Upala Bhog or Upal Bhog is a particular type of offering performed just behind the Garuda Stambha on a stone slab. That stone slab is called Upal. All food is offered within the temple room just below the altar of Jagannath. This bhoga, however, was offered on the stone slab within the vision of the public. Therefore, it is called Upal Bhog. এই তিন মধ্যে যবে থাকে যে জন तारे आसे आपने मिले प्रभुर नियम. If one of these three was not present, he would meet the others. That was his regular practice, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If Haridas, Rupa, and Sanatan were not there, or if any one of them were not there, he would meet others. That was his daily practice. दैवे आसि प्रभु जबे ऊर्ध्वे ते चाहिला चाले गुंजा तालपत्रे से श्लोक पायला. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the residence of Srila Rupa Gosvami, he accidentally saw the palm leaf on the roof, and thus he read the verse composed by him. श्लोक श्लोक पढ़ी आछे प्रभु आविष्ट होइया रूप गोसाई आसि पड़े दंडवत होइया. After reading the verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went into an ecstatic mood. While he was in that state, Sri Rupa Goswami came and immediately fell down on the floor like a rod. Purport. The word danda means rod or pole. A rod or pole falls straight. Similarly, when one offers obeisances to his superior with all 8 angas or parts of the body, he performs what is called dandavat. Sometimes we only speak of dandavats but actually do not fall down. In any case, dandavat means falling down like a rod before one's superior. As it is said here, sometimes we only speak of dandavat. Dandavat pranam. But where is pranam? Where is dandavat pranam? So here Prabhupada is saying sometimes we only speak of dandavat but actually do not fall down. In any case, dandavat means falling down like a rod before one's superior. Eleven six seven purport. Definition of the dandavat. Such full obeisances called dandavat like a stick are described as follows. Dorbhyam padabhyam janubhyam urasa shirasa drisha manasa vacha sacheti pranamoshtanga iritaha. The obeisances offered with 8 limbs are made with the 2 arms, the 2 legs, the 2 knees, the chest, the head, the eyes, the mind, and the power of speech. See, 8 angas means all these. The mind, the power of speech is also there. The currents of material nature are very powerful. Oh, this is something else. Hmm. उठी महाप्रभु तारे चापड़ मारिया कहिते लागिला किछु कोलेते करिया. When Rupa Goswami fell down like a rod, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up and gave him a slap. Then, taking him on his lap, he began to speak to him. Out of love, this is out of love. मोर श्लोकेर अभिप्राय ना जाने कौन जाने मोर मनेर कथा तुमी जानिले के मने. No one knows the purport of my verse. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, how could you understand my intention? Eta boli tare bahu prasada koriya Swarupa Gosairu Shloka Dekhaila Laya. Saying this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestowed various benedictions upon Rupa Goswami, and taking the verse, he later showed it to Swarup Goswami. Swarupe puche na Prabhu hoya vismite Mor maner katha rupa janilo ke mote. Having shown the verse to Swarup Damodar with great wonder, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him how Rupa Goswami could understand the intentions of his mind. उल्लङ्घित त्रिविधसीमसमातिशायि सम्भावनं तव परिव्रढिमस्वभावम् मायाबलेन भवतापि निगुह्यमानम् पश्यन्ति केचिदनिशं त्वदनन्यभावाः. O my Lord, everything within material nature is limited by time, space, and thought. Your characteristics, however, being unequaled and unsurpassed, are always transcendental to such limitations. You sometimes cover such characteristics by your own energy, but nevertheless, your unalloyed devotees are always able to see you under all circumstances. So the devotee, like Rupa Gosvami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could not hide from him. Pure devotee, Krishna cannot hide from a pure devotee. Purport: We had the opportunity to receive a similar blessing from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami when we presented an essay at his birthday ceremony. Actually, it was a poem. He was so pleased with that essay that he used to call some of his confidential devotees and show it to them. How could we have understood the intentions of Srila Prabhupada? That means Prabhupada is saying, how could we have understood the intentions of his Prabhupada? That means Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Impersonal calamity thou hast moved. God is sentient, thou hast proved. Impersonal calamity thou hast moved. That verse especially, in that poem of his Vyasa Puja offering, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to show everywhere. स्वरूप को है जाते जानी लो तुम्हार मन. स्वरूप को है जाते जानी लो तुम्हार मन. ताते जानी होय तुम्हार कृपार भाजन. Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami replied to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if Rupa Goswami can understand your mind and intentions, he must have your Lordship's special benediction. Now here is the secret. Why the Lord cannot hide from his pure devotee? Because the pure devotee can see him in all circumstances by the mercy of the Lord. You see here, Swarup Damodar Goswami is saying, oh, if he has recognized you and he knows your meaning, then he must have your Lordship's special benediction. Without your blessing, he cannot do that. प्रभु को है तारे आमे संतुष्टा होया आलिंगन कोइलो सर्वशक्ति संचारिया. The Lord said, I was so pleased with Rupa Goswami that I embraced him and bestowed upon him all necessary potencies for preaching the bhakti cult. योग्य पात्र होय गूढ़ रस विवेचने तुमियो कहियो तारे गूढ़ रसाख्याने. I accept Srila Rupa Goswami as quite fit to understand the confidential mellows of devotional service, and I recommend that you explain devotional service to him further. এই সব কহিব আগে বিস্তার করিয়া সংক্ষেপে উদ্দেশ্য কইল প্রস্তাব পাইয়া. I shall describe all these incidents elaborately later on. Now I have given only a brief reference. So this is the actual verse that Rupa Goswami wrote in reply to that verse. प्रियः सोऽयं कृष्णः साहचरि कुरुक्षेत्रमिलितास् तथाहं साराधा तदिदम् उभयोः सङ्गमसुखम्. तथाप्यन्तः खेलन् मधुरा मुरली पञ्चमजुषे मनो मे कालिन्दी पुलिना विपिनाय स्पृहयति. This is Jagannath Ashtakam, same meter. Translation. This is a verse spoken by Srimati Radharani. My dear friend, now I have met my very old and dear friend Krishna on this field of Kurukshetra. I am the same Radharani and now we are meeting together. It is very pleasant, but still I would like to go to the bank of the Yamuna beneath the trees of the forest there. I wish to hear the vibration of his sweet flute playing the fifth note within that forest of Vrindavan. Fifth note means very high note, you know. So, there is another thing that is going on here. You see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted a verse which is very cryptic and Swarup Damodar could understand. Then we have Rupa Gosvami who exactly understood what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meant. And not only did he understand that the gopis separation from Krishna, he also understood the Kurukshetra meeting, and that is the scene which was going on in the mind of our heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Rupa Goswami wrote another verse to actually explain the real thing. Now, well, this is a very confidential pastime. Why is it revealed to us? One thing. First of all, if only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's shloka was revealed, then it's not very clear. So therefore, Krishna inspired Rupa Goswami to explain it, and Rupa Goswami actually wrote another verse to explain that verse. In order to clarify for the rest of the devotee community and people in general that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not meditating on some sexual affairs, but this is the actual matter Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is meditating on. Number one. Number two, just as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's original words were ambiguous and they are not meant for everyone. At the same time, when the devotee explains it, it becomes meant for everyone. So now that Rupa Goswami has explained it, commentary, it becomes. So this is why, if you see Vedanta Sutra, for example, it is ambiguous. I mean, it's not ambiguous, but Shankaracharya twisted it, the meaning, and explained Advaitavad, which is a fallacious philosophy in many, many ways. Now, when Vaishnavas write Bhashya, they make it even more clear than Krishna himself did. Vyasadeva had his own commentary of it, which is Bhagavatam. So, this is the thing. And there is a verse which explains this. Narad Muni says this. Narada Bhakti Sutra, 69th verse. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani, sukarmi kurvanti karmani, shastri kurvanti, satchastri kurvanti shastrani. Their association, that means the association of pure devotees. We're talking about pure devotees. That's the topic actually before this. So the association of pure devotees makes holy places holy. Holy places become holy because of the association of saintly people. In fact, they can make even unholy places into holy places. Not only makes holy places holy, but make unholy place also holy. Well, association of devotees makes works auspicious because the devotees will engage every other person in the service of Krishna, and therefore their work becomes auspicious. For example, now there is a temple in Singapore, here, Hare Krishna temple, ISKM, and people are, working in Singapore, and the devotees are making them into, patrons or donors. They ask, okay, we have this festival, please contribute, or we have, so many expenses for our dharma prachar. for our spreading of Krishna consciousness, and please support that by a monthly contribution. And people are doing that. So, what is happening here? If the temple wasn't there, those people would have worked, but their work wouldn't have been auspicious. Now, the phala, yajnartha karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. So, Krishna is saying that if you don't offer the fruits of your activities to me, then karma bandhana. You will be entangled in the activities of this material world. So now, they are working, the work was not auspicious, but because there is a temple, their work becomes auspicious now, because they're connected with the temple. Because at least some of the hard earned money is being deposited with Krishna for his mission. And that will make their work auspicious. So the association of devotees, pure devotees, makes holy places holy. They make works auspicious, and this is the most important. Sat shastri kurvanti shastrani. They make the scriptures authoritative. Vedaishcha sarvair ahameva vedya, Krishna said. By all Vedas I am to be known. But you read the Vedas, you cannot understand Krishna. Vedeshu durlabham. He is not understood in the Vedas. What is this? So when the Vedas are ambiguous or not so clear, the commentary of the devotees makes it clear, makes it authoritative. Oh yes, this is the meaning. So why would the Lord write something which is so ambiguous? Well, it is not supposed to be ambiguous. But, for example, Shankaracharya, upon the order of Lord Narayana, Lord Shiva came as Shankaracharya and misled people by falsely representing the Vedas. So, and also, to encourage people from all backgrounds, sometimes the Vedas sound a little bit equivocal. But if you see the Puranas, they make it precise, especially Bhagavad Purana. Precise, very accurate, vivid in its in its description. Shankaracharya did not even attempt to comment on the Bhagavatam because it's way too clear. He just minimized its importance, saying that, oh, actually Puranas are not so important. Shruti is more important. Smriti is not so important. This is the understanding of all these Advaitavadis. And that's how Shankaracharya also preached in order to minimize the importance of these Puranas. But actually, there is a verse I think Namanita Prabhu quoted in the Zakir Naik video as well. Zakir Naik rebuttal video. So he quoted this verse where the Puranas are actually even more important than the Vedas, the Upanishads. Because it is very clear and with practical demonstration by devotees and the whole pastimes. So it's very, very natural as well. Because as living entities, we're not supposed to just dryly speculate. We have to actually experience life. And life has all these emotions, but emotions connected with Krishna are transcendental. So the scriptures become authoritative by that's why Sukhamukad Amrita Drava Samyutam. Sukhamukad Amrita Drava Samyutam. So by the association of Sukadeva Goswami, Bhagavatam, which was already relishable, is now even more relishable. This is what happens when we hear from pure devotees. So many of these things are mentioned, are taught by Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by these pastimes. We should see all these nuances, and eventually, Krishna will reveal so many of the realizations that we will have. But, so many things he's teaching actually. Purport. This verse also appears in the Padyavali 387, an anthology of the verses compiled by Srila Rupa Gosvami. ए श्लोकेर संक्षेपार्थ शुनो भक्तगण जगन्नाथ देखी जय छे प्रभुर भावन. Now, devotees, please hear a brief explanation of this verse. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was thinking in this way after having seen the Jagannath deity. Shri Radhika Kurukshetre Krishnera Darshan Yadyapi Payana Tabu Bhavena Aichan. The subject of his thoughts was Srimati Radharani, who met Krishna on the field of Kurukshetra. Although she met Krishna there, she was nonetheless thinking of him in the following way. राजा वेश हाथी घोड़ा मनुष्य गहन कहाँ गोप वेश कहाँ निर्जन वृंदावन. राजा वेश हाथी घोड़ा मनुष्य गहन कहाँ गोप वेश कहाँ निर्जन वृंदावन. See, she thought of him in the calm and quiet atmosphere of Vrindavan, dressed as a cowherd boy. But at Kurukshetra, he was in a royal dress and was accompanied by elephants, horses, and crowds of men. Thus, the atmosphere was not congenial for their meeting. Now, here, this is same as every devotee has their own unique relationship with the Lord, just like Hanuman. Even when he saw Rukmini Krishna, he could not equate them to Sita and Ram. Because the mood, the whole thing was different. That reciprocation was different, and Hanuman only identified with Sita and Ram. So of course he respected Krishna and Rukmini, and he understood Krishna is the same Ram, but he still liked to worship Ram. So similarly, uh, Radharani and the gopis, they want to worship Krishna not in this opulent form, they want in that. So that is their swarup. That is why they have the affinity of that form and that place, and that's not some material attachment. To not leave Vrindavan, that is the best thing you can do. Of course, we are not to imitate that because we will become crazy persons there and offend everybody there. So Prabhupada said for us, we go to Vrindavan 3 days and then come out. So, but the perfection of life is to never leave Vrindavan. Shay Bhava, Shay Krishna, Shay Vrindavan, Jabe Paye Tabe Hoy Vanchita Puran. Thus, meeting with Krishna and thinking of the Vrindavan atmosphere, Radharani longed for Krishna to take her to Vrindavan, again to fulfill her desire in that calm atmosphere. आहुश्चते नलिननाभपदारविन्दम् योगेश्वरैर्हृदि विचिन्त्यमगाधबोधैः संसारकूपपतितोत्तरणावलम्बम् गेहं जुषामपि मनः सुधियात्सदानः. The gopis spoke thus, Dear Lord, whose navel is just like a lotus flower, your lotus feet are the only shelter for those who have fallen into the deep well of material existence. Your feet are worshipped and meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers. We wish that these lotus feet may also be awakened within our hearts, although we are only ordinary persons engaged in household affairs. Purport. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 1082-48. তোমার চরণ মোর ব্রজপুর ঘরে উদয় করয়ে যদি তবে বাঞ্ছা পুরে. The gopis thought, Dear Lord, if your lotus feet again come to our home in Vrindavan, our desires will be fulfilled. Purport. In his Anubhashya, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments, the gopis are purely engaged in the service of the Lord without motive. They are not captivated by the opulence of Krishna nor by the understanding that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Naturally, the gopis were inclined to love Krishna, for he was an attractive young boy of Vrindavan village. Being village girls, they were not very much attracted to the field of Kurukshetra, where Krishna was present with elephants, horses, and royal dress. Indeed, they did not very much appreciate Krishna in that atmosphere. Krishna was not attracted by the opulence or personal beauty of the gopis. You see, this is important. Krishna was not attracted by the opulence or personal beauty of the gopis, but by their pure devotional service. Similarly, the gopis were attracted to Krishna as a cowboy, not in sophisticated guise. Lord Krishna is inconceivably powerful. To understand him, great yogis and saintly persons give up all material engagements and meditate upon him. Similarly, those who are overly attached to material enjoyment, to enhancement of material opulence, to family maintenance, or to liberation from the entanglements of this material world, take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But such activities and motivations are unknown to the gopis. They are not at all expert in executing such auspicious activities. Already transcendently enlightened, they simply engage their purified senses in the service of the Lord in the remote village of Vrindavan. The gopis are not interested in dry speculation in the arts, in music, or other conditions of material life. They are bereft of all understanding of material enjoyment and renunciation. Their only desire is to see Krishna return and enjoy spiritual transcendental pastimes with them. The gopis want him simply to stay in Vrindavan so that they can render service unto him for his pleasure. There is not even a tinge of personal sense gratification. You see, to understand him, great yogis and saintly persons give up all material engagements and meditate upon him. So here, so ahuschate nalinanabha padarvindam. So this verse, the gopis spoke thus, Dear Lord, your navel is just like lotus flowers. So your lotus feet are the only shelter for those who have fallen into the deep well of material existence. Your feet are worshipped and meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers. We wish that these lotus feet may also be awakened within our hearts, although we are only ordinary persons engaged in household affairs, and they being women. So Kunti Devi, also prayed something very similar, right? Do you remember? तथा परमहंसानां मुनीनाममलात्मनां भक्तियोगविधानार्थं कथं पश्येम हि स्त्रियः. You yourself descend to propagate the transcendental signs of devotional service unto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. So, your devotional service, Kuntadevi is saying to Krishna, is meant for the highest of Paramahamsas, Munis, and Amalatmanas, means pure hearted people. So, you are only reachable by them. But I am just an ordinary woman. How can we women know you perfectly? We cannot know you. That's her humility. Hmm. But she understands Krishna better than any of us. How then can we women know you perfectly? So that's how she's putting it, but that's humility. So the gopis also saying something similar. Uh, Meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers. So they want also they are acknowledging that Krishna is worshipped by all these great personalities. But and in fact they are saying that we are in fact inferior to all those people who are all the yogis who are meditating on your feet. We, although we are involved in household affairs as ordinary women, we also want that we can. We wish that these lotus feet may also be awakened within our hearts, as if they were already not. In fact, they were the best devotees. Ramya Kashat Upasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Kalpita. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that There's nobody who worships Krishna better than the gopis. So, even though they were that stature, but they were just said that, oh, we wish that we also remember him like that. भागवतेर श्लोक गूढ़ार्थ विशद करिया रूप गोसाई श्लोक कहलो लोक बुझाइया. In one verse, Sri Rupa Goswami has explained the confidential meaning of the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam for the understanding of the general populace. Yeah. या ते लीलारसपरिमलोद्गारिवन्यापरीता धन्याक्षौणी विलसति वृता माधुरी माधुरीभिः तत्रास्माभिश्चटुलपशुपी भावमुग्धान्तराभिः संवेतस्त्वं कलयवदनोल्लासि वेणुर्विहारम्. The gopis continued, Dear Krishna, the fragrance of the mellows of your pastimes is spread throughout the forests of the glorious land of Vrindavan, which is surrounded by the sweetness of the district of Mathura. In the congenial atmosphere of that wonderful land, you may enjoy your pastimes with your flute dancing on your lips and surrounded by us, the gopis, whose hearts are always enchanted by unpredictable ecstatic emotions. Purport. This is the verse from the Lalita Madhava. Wow. 1038 by Srila Rupa Gosvami. So in one verse, what did he do? Srila Rupa Goswami has explained the confidential meaning of the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam for the understanding of the general populace. So you see how he is revealing to us how beautifully composed also. So many alliterations are there, so many embellishments are there. याते लीलारसपरिमलोद्गारिवन्यापरीता धन्याक्षौणी विलसति वृता माधुरी माधुरीभिः तत्रास्माभिश्चटुलपशुपी भावमुग्धान्तराभिः संवेतस्त्वं कलयवदनोल्लासि वेणुर्विहारम्. So melodious. मत महाप्रभु देखी जगन्नाथे सुभद्रा सहित देखे वंशी नाही हाथे. In this way, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Jagannath, he saw that the Lord was with his sister Subhadra and was not holding a flute in his hand. Tribhanga Sundara Vraje Vrajendra Nandan Kaha Pabo Evancha Bade Anukshan. Absorbed in the ecstasy of the gopis, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wished to see Lord Jagannath in his original form as Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Standing in Vrindavan and appearing very beautiful, his body curved in three places. Lord Chaitanya's desire to see that form was always increasing. Radhika unmad jaiche uddhava darshane udghurna pralapatoiche prabhura ratri dine. Just as Srimati Radharani talked inconsistently with a bumblebee in the presence of Uddhava, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his ecstasy talked crazily and inconsistently day and night. Purport. This unmada, madness, is not ordinary madness. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talked inconsistently, almost like a crazy fellow, he was in the transcendental ecstasy of love. In the highest transcendental ecstasy, there is a feeling of being enchanted in the presence of the enchanter. Okay. There is, I don't know where it is. I think in the Nectar of Devotion or Chaitanya Charitamrita. I think we have also covered this in one of the lectures. But um, I think Radharani teases another gopi who makes a very nice flower garland for Krishna, and she says, "Oh, looks like you did not put. I mean, there's not much devotion I see in that garland because the garland was exquisitely beautiful, very very beautiful." So Radharani, I think it's Radharani. I may get the names wrong, but this is the thing. So one devotee, she made very, very, very beautiful garland for Krishna, and Radharani saw the garland and said, "Oh, I don't see much devotion in this garland." Then why? Because you did not make any mistake at all. It's so perfect. Then why is it not devotion? Because if you were really devoted, you will make so many mistakes because your mind will be just crazy. And in that craziness, you will make so many mistakes. But you did not make any mistake. Where's your devotion? So it's like, it's completely, of course, it's not that, oh, yeah, yeah, okay, okay, tomorrow onwards I'll make mistakes. And actually, it's my devotion to Krishna. Please don't say that. Please don't be stupid, like some sahajiya nonsense. This is, we have to do it. Once one devotee asked me, she asked me, we were designing some invitation card or something like that. And then she said, let's keep it simple. Let's not make too much decorations. I said, no, we should decorate. We should make it nice. No, but Krishna is already there. Why I need to decorate anymore? Then I, of course, gave a lecture saying, yes, Krishna is always beautiful. Krishna is beautiful without our decorations, without our serving him. He does not need us at all. We think we're doing so important work. We are organizing Ratha-yatra, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're traveling here, preaching there. You know what? Krishna doesn't need us at all. Krishna doesn't need any of this, what we're doing. You think you're so important that you're doing all these things? Krishna will say, I don't even need you. You're nothing. Of course, Krishna is kind and all of that, but he does not, factually speaking, he does not need us. And we are all, doing this, doing that, doing that. What for? So, Krishna is always beautiful. He is self sufficient. In fact, there is a verse also in Nectar of Devotion, you will see that the ornaments of Krishna do not make him beautiful. Krishna makes the ornaments beautiful when they are on him. So does he need ornaments then? Why is he wearing ornaments? Why does he have shark-shaped earrings? Why does he have some belt on his waist? Why does he have this peacock feather? Why all these decorations? He can just be naked and he can still be beautiful. Yeah, he is beautiful even naked. But here is what it is. When we dress Krishna, when we make something nice for him, that is our devotion. Krishna is beautiful, yes. If we say like that, then Krishna is self-sufficient. He's already glorious. He's already the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He doesn't need any servitor. He is Swarat. So he needs nothing from us. So then when we do something, like for example, decoration is one thing. The devotees cook sumptuous prasadam, bhog for the Lord on festival days. Of course, every day, but festival days much more special. Many hundreds of items. Is it to show off one's cooking skills that the devotee does that? No. No. Krishna said patram pushpam phalam toyam. No, we just give him, it's devotion that matters. Devotion that matters. That's what it means. If patram pushpam phalam toyam means even if you have nothing, you can offer me patram pushpam phalam toyam. So there's There's no bar on who can be a devotee. Even the poorest of the poorest of the poor can always find a leaf, water, flower, and fruit. So it can be offered. But if you can offer more, then you should. And that is explained in the 11th canto. Um, yeah. Okay, you see, 11, 27, 18. भूर्यपि भूर्यप्यभक्तोपाहृतं न मे तोषाय कल्पते गन्धो धूपः सुमनसो दीपोन्नाद्यं च किं पुनः. E- Even very opulent presentations do not satisfy me if they are offered by non devotees. But I am pleased by any insignificant offering made by my loving devotees. And I am certainly most pleased when nice presentations of fragrant oil, incense, flowers, and palatable foods are offered with love. So that means the Lord is wanting to smell some nice perfumes and fragrant oil and incense and flowers and palatable food? No. The foods were created by Him, the ingredients were created by Him, the brain with which the chef actually cooks for Krishna, the devotee, the brain is given by Krishna. So actually, Krishna is cooking His own meals. We are becoming an instrument in His cooking meals. When we dress Krishna every day, Krishna is actually dressing Himself. We think we are dressing Him. We are not. Because who gave the intelligence to the devotee to dress him? It is Krishna. What is that? Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. So it is he who is giving. And then we are offering it back to Krishna. But if we think that I am doing this, oh, Prabhu, you have done nice kirtan. Yes, 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 I have done nice kirtan. Yes, yes, yes. Hello. Who gave the voice? Krishna can take away the voice. When we get some sore throat, our voice is gone. And if Krishna can permanently take our voice away, so he can do anything. Um, so it is always he himself doing it. But just like Krishna said to Arjuna, Arjuna, I have already killed these people in the battlefield. You just fight for me and take the credit. Nimitta matram bhava savvasachin. See, 11:33. तस्मा तस्मात् त्वमुत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धम् मयैवैते निहताः पूर्वं जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धम् मयैवैते निहताः पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन्. You see, very nicely he said. Krishna said to Arjuna, therefore, get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Win glory. You let the glory be with you. Let you be glorified. You win the glory. Take the credit for the fight and be known as the greatest warrior. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement. And you, O Savyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. And he called him Savyasachi. You are very expert in doing this and that. With the left hand you can, with right hand you can shoot, with left hand you can shoot. That is the meaning of Savyasachi, who's equally talented with both hands. So you are very qualified. And mind you, I am the one who gave you that power to do this and that. You are Savyasachi because of me. Now the best use of that skill, which is my skill, I have bestowed you with that, is to become an instrument in my plan. Do not think that if you don't participate, my killing will not be happening. No, no, no. I have already put them to death by my arrangement. That is done on my part. It's done. So it is always he who is doing it. Kartahamiti manyate ahankara vimudhatma. So in devotional service also, when we think that I am the doer, that is vimudha, because it is Krishna who is doing. And we are fortunate enough that he has chosen us to do something for him, whatever it is. And if we can just do that sincerely, that is to our credit. That is our glory. So cooking is one thing. Another example is, like for example, Rupa Gosvami. So beautiful, melodious verses, rich with meaning, and elicits the emotional feelings of the devotees. Was he showing off his poetic skills? No. The Lord would have well been happy with just prose paragraphs. Why did he have to do poem? After all, it's description of the Lord that matters. Why then this extra decoration of poetry? That is devotion. If one is having some skills, he should use that. So similarly, that invitation card, simple, yes, Krishna is always beautiful, but we should do our part. We should decorate him nicely and put a nice frame around him and whatever. So everything should be like that. Should be done very nicely for Krishna. And moreover, we are not in the you know as Prabhupada said, although we are worshipping Radha and Krishna, we are actually worshipping Lakshmi and Narayan because we are serving them in opulence. We are not serving them like in Vrindavan forest, like in a simple village setting. No, we are doing big, constructing very big temples like palaces. You see our Krishna conscious temples all over the world. Prabhupada like to build like palaces and putting Radha Krishna inside. Radha Krishna were ever in a palace? In a big palace like Dwarka, Mathura? No. Radharani was always in Vrindavan. What is this palace going on for Radharani, Radha and Krishna? Well, that is, you see, Mama Mana Mandire. The Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung, in the temple of my heart, please stay. And what kind of temple? It should be the most glorious, the most, even the opulence of Lord Brahma, Shiva, even Vaikuntha should fade in comparison to the temple that we should have for Krishna. So there's no limit. Like Prabhupada was once asked by a reporter, the famous video clip is there on YouTube as well. Oh, you are monks, but you are supposed to be renounced and all that, but you came in a Rolls Royce. Isn't that true? Then Prabhupada said, well, Rolls Royce is not enough. It should have been a golden car, actually. It's Prabhupada. Prabhupada, already that guy is jealous. He, he incited his jealousy even more. It should have been a golden car, actually. But I can sit under a tree, I can walk. But when the disciple he offers like that is for his benefit. So Prabhupada is not glorified because he is taken in a Rolls Royce car. The company owner of Rolls Royce and whoever manufactured Rolls Royce, they became fortunate because Prabhupada sat in their car. It's the other way around. So when we beg people, please donate for Krishna, it is not that we are doing some great service. No, we are just an instrument. Then it's not that you know they are actually benefiting. They are actually how to say, the temple is benefiting from their contributions. No, we are benefiting from their contributions. No, they are benefiting from their own contributions to Krishna, and we going out and asking them, we get benefit because we are serving Krishna. So the happiness of Krishna is the center factor here, center point. That's what makes everyone else fortunate, and we should do it to the best of our ability. Ratha-yatra, grand scale. Why small? As grand as possible always. So We are having big temples for Radha and Krishna. So that's actually Lakshmi Narayan worship. Because as conditioned souls, we cannot worship Radha and Krishna. Radha and Krishna worship is only for liberated souls. Although we want to meditate on the form of Krishna, but our mode of worship is like that of Lakshmi Narayan worship, in opulence. In opulence. And we should do that. We should not artificially imitate that. No, I want to be like, Vrindavan. I will just put a small hut and put Krishna there, Radha and Krishna, because Krishna and Radha had just some groves. I just put some bushes there, and then in the bush I'll put Radha and Krishna deities and worship. Don't do stupid things. Huh? So we cannot do like that. We cannot imitate. Great devotees, pure devotees, they can do anything. We have some descriptions of Vamsidas Babaji, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Jagannath Das Babaji. They behaved in ways with the deity that we can never understand. Nobody could understand. Even devotees could not understand. Even very learned devotees could not understand the way in which Vamsidas Babaji, for example, used to deal with his deities. There's a whole book on Vamsidas Babaji's life. It's out of this world. For us, it's like, what kind of, he's very rude to the deity sometimes, he's very like, what he's doing. So that is Paramahamsa stage. It's not to be imitated. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur acknowledged that he's a great devotee. So that is not even understandable for us. So let's do something which we can do. Don't do something stupid and then get offend Krishna and offend devotees and offend the whole thing and then we fall down to hell. We should do it as per the Acharyopasana, by the instructions of the Acharya. Prabhupada said, do opulently, we do opulently. Everything opulently, nicely for Krishna, as grand as possible. That is our devotion to Krishna, our offering to Krishna. Our offering to Krishna should be as grand as possible. Like that Kolavicha Sridhar, who was only meditating in the mind because he was so poor, so poor. His clothes were all torn and tattered. That kind of person, he was meditating. What he was meditating? He was bringing golden pots full of water from all the holy rivers, one by one. He was collecting, and he was cooking, and he was collecting all the ingredients for cooking, and he was cooking a sumptuous feast for the Lord. In our heart, that is the meditation we should have. Sometimes externally we may do opulent things, but internally my mind is so poor. I'm not even thinking of Krishna. I'm thinking of cooking something for Krishna. And that rascal, he talked to me like that last night. How can he talk to me? How dare he? Finish some cooking. So sometimes we may cook something even nice also, but our mind is somewhere else. Whereas that Kolavicha Sridhar had nothing in his possession, and he was cooking, and he was offering the Lord Abhishek and everything on him very opulently. So our devotion to the Lord should always be grand. Grand. So coming back to this verse 1.87, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talked inconsistently, almost like a crazy fellow, he was in the transcendental ecstasy of love. In the highest transcendental ecstasy, there is a feeling of being enchanted in the presence of the enchanter. When the enchanter and the enchanted become separated, mohana or bewilderment occurs. When so bewildered due to separation, one becomes stunned, and at that time, all the bodily symptoms of transcendental ecstasy are manifested. When they are manifest, one appears inconceivably crazy. And this is some of the behavior of Vamsidas Babaji as well, and Gaurkishore Das, Jagannath Das Babaji. Acharyas like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada, they did not behave in those ways. Does that mean they were less of Paramahamsas than the others? Not at all. Being empowered by the Lord, they preached. They suppressed their original feelings for Krishna for the sake of serving him with the preaching work. And in the presence of worldly people and neophyte devotees, They did not do this because they did not want to cheapen devotional service. They valued devotional service and they valued Krishna and Krishna Bhakti so much that they did not want to cheapen it by just showing all the symptoms, and then tomorrow everybody will start showing all symptoms and then smoking BD and having girlfriends, you know. So they did not want, they valued Krishna Bhakti so much that they do not show it. So that is more intelligible for us. That means more understandable for us. That kind of behavior. Oh, Acharya, everything is perfect. Yes, yes, yes. It is something comprehensible for us. To make us, to make our faith grow, they suppress their own feelings of, you know, uncontrollable, inconceivable ecstasy, so that they continue the service and behave in a way which we can understand. That is their mercy on us. But they were equally as crazy as Amsidas Babaji, Gaur Kishoras Babaji, transcendently. Otherwise, which if Prabhupada is not crazy for Krishna, he would not risk his life crossing the ocean for him. He crossed the ocean for him. That Sumati Morarji, who was the owner of the ship company, she should have actually given him a flight ticket. I do not agree that she did a great service by taking him on a freighter ship there at 69 years age. She should have just bought him a flight ticket. Swamiji, you wanted to go there. Okay, I will do the seva. I'm a big steamship company owner. I'll just buy you a flight ticket. You please, you don't do this. Don't go in my ship like this. It'll be tough for you. She should have done that, honestly, if you ask me. But she did not do it. But Krishna also showed something else. And Krishna actually massaged Prabhupada. Krishna actually protected in Dashavatar the whole ship. The captain also got some favor because of that. Krishna has his plans. Okay? But he crossed the ocean at the age of 69. Is that not crazy enough? Which person would do that? Sumati Morarji was saying, Swamiji, you are too old and it's too cold for you. You will die there. That's what the Sumati Morarji was saying. And any person, he wouldn't do that. So his craziness is exhibited in a different way. His craziness of love is shown in a different way. But he's equally as crazy. You have to be real crazy to risk your life like that for the Lord. Crazy for the Lord. When they are manifest, one appears inconceivably crazy. This is called transcendental madness. In this state, there is imaginative discourse, and one experiences emotions like those of a madman. The madness of Srimati Radharani was explained to Krishna by Uddhava, who said, My dear Krishna, because of extreme feelings of separation from you, Srimati Radharani is sometimes making her bed in the groves of the forest, sometimes rebuking a bluish cloud, and sometimes wandering about in the dense darkness of the forest. Thus, she has become like a crazy woman. In the material sense, if a woman becomes like that, she is a nutcase. She has to be treated in a mental hospital for life, maybe. But Radharani, transcendental craziness. Divyonmada. The exact Sanskrit word is Divyonmada. Divya Unmada. Transcendental madness. द्वादश वत्सर शेष ऐच्छे गोआयला ei mato shesha lila trividhane koila. The last 12 years of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were passed in this transcendental craziness. Thus he executed his last pastimes in three ways. Sannyasa kari 24 vatsara koila je karma ananta aparatara ke jani be marma. For the 24 years after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the renounced order, whatever pastimes he executed were unlimited and unfathomable. Who can understand the purport of such pastimes? Uddesha karite kari digdarshan, mukhya lilar kari sutra ganan. Just to indicate those pastimes, I am presenting a general survey of the chief pastimes in the form of a synopsis. प्रथम सूत्र प्रभुर संन्यास करण संन्यास करे चलीला प्रभु श्री वृंदावन. This is the first synopsis. After accepting the sannyas order, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu proceeded toward Vrindavan. So you know what? I will stop here because it's already 10:12. Okay, so we will continue this in the next class. I think from the previous verse we will continue. Okay, I will start from maybe here 90. All right, so thank you very much. I will take so many questions that are relevant, pertinent questions. Why I can't see? Okay. Sri Padyavali was written by Rupa Gosvami. No. Padyavali is a collection of poems by Rupa Gosvami, not by Rupa Gosvami. Rupa Goswami collected verses from many, many devotees and compiled them as Sri Padyavali. That is what Sri Padyavali is. It's not written by him. Maybe some are written by him, but mostly are collected from many devotees. Indira Gandhi had not allowed in the temple. You mean to say Indira Gandhi was not allowed in the temple? Or Indira Gandhi had not allowed people to come into the temple who were not Indians? Grammar is a bit off, so I cannot understand what exactly you are saying. Many temples in Kashi and other places still prohibit entry of those who are not Arya with a notice at the entrance. Well, who is Arya? As if all the Hindus are Aryas. Venugita sung by gopis is more melodious than Kanha's flute. Well, I don't like to really discuss about these intimate things and not qualified at all. What is the difference between seeing the Paramatma feature in all places and seeing Krishna's personal form everywhere in the mode of devotional service and separation? Okay, so what is the difference between seeing the Paramatma feature in all places and seeing Krishna's personal form everywhere in the mode of devotional service and separation? Well, Paramatma feature is especially by the yogis. They do not have such intense feelings for the Lord yet, and they meditate on the form of the Lord in the heart, but do not actually see Him. They do not actually see Him. They meditate on the form of the. Of course, that thinking is also, as good as seeing Him. But seeing Him is even more than that. So, while the yogis meditate on the Paramatma form of the Lord in the heart, the devotees, like for example Hanuman, he showed Sitaram in the heart. For him, it was not like Paramatma standing with four hands and all. No, Sitaram. So for the devotees, the Lord accepts the form that the devotees want to serve Him and want to meditate on Him, that particular form. Uh, so it's very, very vast, the difference. Um, But the person who can actually see, Santah Sadaiva Vilokayanti, Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. So the devotees, Santaha, only they can see Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. By the eyes of devotion, they can constantly see. Others actually cannot see. They can think, they can, you know, hear the description of the Paramatma and then meditate on that form, on those descriptions in the heart, like that. But the devotees, they actually see. Like, if I show, I don't know exact number of the verse, you know, um, Kashyapa Muni, after he impregnated Diti with Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, he said, "You have committed a grave mistake, and the two sons who are there in your womb are horrible personalities. They're going to be the worst demons ever. But they're but the Hiranyakashipu's son will be a very great devotee, so great that while other devotees only can think of the Lord, he actually sees him everywhere. That means his seeing is actually very much higher than just thinking about him and that only. Hmm. With all senses they can perceive the Lord. So what is that verse? Hmm. If anybody can help me with the numbers, did anybody only comment it? Not yet. Hmm. Let me see. The future grandson of Diti, who was predicted to be a great devotee, would be liked by everyone, even by the enemies of his father, because he would have no other vision besides the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A pure devotee of the Lord sees the presence of his worshipful deity, Lord, everywhere. You see, the Lord reciprocates in such a way that all living entities in whom the Lord is dwelling as the super soul also like a pure devotee because the Lord is present in their hearts and can dictate to them to be friendly to his devotee. Hearing that her grandson would be a great devotee and that her sons would be killed by Krishna, Aditi was highly pleased. So, yeah, the grandson means it is Prahlad. Her son would be Hiranyakashipu, grandson will be Prahlad. Wait. Um, स वै महाभागवतो महात्मा महानुभावो महतां महिष्ठः प्रवृद्धभक्त्या हि अनुभाविताशये निवेश्य वैकुण्ठमिमं विहास्यति. How many? That topmost devotee of the Lord will have expanded intelligence and expanded influence and will be the greatest of the great souls. Due to mature devotional service, he will certainly be situated in transcendental ecstasy and will enter the spiritual sky after quitting this material world. See, everyone will be pleased with him because the Supreme Personality of God, the Supreme Controller of the universe, is always satisfied with the devotee who does not wish for anything beyond him. In order to follow in his footsteps, saintly persons will try to emulate his character by practicing freedom from animosity, just as the purifying processes rectify gold of inferior quality. Because of your lamentation, penitence, and proper deliberation, and also because of your unflinching faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and your adoration for Lord Shiva and me, one of the sons, Prahlad, of your son, Hiranyakashipu, will be an approved devotee of the Lord, and his fame will be broadcast equally with that of the Personality of Godhead. It is somewhere here that it will come. Sasvadrig Bhagavan Yasya Toshyate Nanyana. I'm just looking for that word where he says he actually sees him everywhere. Just please bear with me here. Yeah. Your grandson will be able to see inside and outside the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose wife is the beautiful goddess of fortune. The Lord can assume the form desired by the devotee, and his face is always beautifully decorated with earrings. You see, it is predicted herewith that the grandson of Diti, Prahlad Maharaj, would not only see the personality of Godhead within himself by meditation, but would also be able to see him personally with his eyes. Not only by meditation, but with his eyes. This direct vision is possible only for one who is highly elevated in Krishna consciousness, for it is not possible to see the Lord with material eyes. See, that's the point. So that's the thing. So, okay, what else? 3:25:30. After all, I'm a woman. It is very difficult for me to understand absolute truth because my intelligence is not very great. But if you will kindly explain it to me, even though I'm not very intelligent, I can understand it and thereby feel transcendental happiness. Devahuti is also saying she is not intelligent. Kunti is saying she's not intelligent. The gopis are saying they're not intelligent. But our women of today, they think they're very intelligent. See, it's not about just women. Men also, they should think that they're always not intelligent. But Krishna like, particularly said that women are actually less intelligent. So, what is the harm in just accepting and being humble? But no, I have to show that I'm more intelligent. That is a disease. Yeah, you see this. The more we keep the deities nicely dressed and decorated, the more your heart will be decorated. This is the science. If you neglect the decoration of the deity, then your heart will be gradually blackened. Therefore, on account of neglect of deity worship, so many dirty hearted persons have left. They had to leave. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not want them to stay. See, whatever honor, respect, or presentation is given to the Lord, it is enjoyed by Him, it is enjoyed by Him. So, how it is so? Just example, just like you decorate your face. You cannot see directly how your face is beautiful, but when you put in a mirror before the face and the reflection, you see see very nice decoration. Indira Gandhi, as she had married a Persian, so she was not allowed in the Puri temple. She married an she married a Persian. Okay. I did not know. I thought he was an Indian. Anyway, Hardeep Lakhan. Sir, I live in a hostel. Whenever I sit to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, my roommate immediately comes and says, तो मैं आग दो, भगवान के पीछे पड़ा रहता है, जो ज्यादा पूजा करता है जल्दी मरता है. Sir, is it true? Jiva va maro va. For a devotee, how does it matter live or die? Whether we die early or, live a long life, it doesn't really matter. And there is no such thing that, a devotee will die early. If Krishna wants, it can happen. If Krishna does not want it, it won't happen. It's all on Krishna. Prabhupada was 81 years old. Right? Jagannath Das Babaji was 147 years old. Whole life chanting. Well, there is Lomarsha Muni, whose age we cannot calculate. When the whole universe is destroyed, 311 trillion years, 40 billion years, it takes for one universe to be destroyed. When Brahma dies, his universe is destroyed. And when that happens, one hair on his body will fall. This Lomarsha Muni. And when all the hairs of his body has fallen, then he will die. You cannot imagine the kind of lifetime he has. And he's always chanting. And Narad Muni once saw him. Arey, Lomash Muni, why are you chanting? Raining like very heavy, and you are not even like covering properly, you're chanting. No, there is not enough time in life, Lomash Muni answered. There's not enough time in life, constructing all this hut and all these things is waste of time. It's chanting, it's better to chant. He says there is not enough time with that lifetime. And our hero is saying Jaldi marta hai. Well, anyway, for a devotee, it doesn't really matter whether he's living or dying, he serves Krishna. After death, he will go back to Krishna and serve him there. So it doesn't really matter. Jivova Marova. One time, Prabhupada allowed a disciple to notice that his divine grace was talking to the deity. Yes. Sir, you must have been an engineer previously. Sir, which coaching did you join for JEE exam in India? Sir, I'm a Sikh Hatik boy. I'm really good in PCM. Will I get into IIT? You will go to hell. I'm telling you, you will go to hell. These are not the questions you should be asking. Okay? And material, all this so-called education is stupidity. Understand? You are doing it. This is Shudra education, this engineering, all these things is Shudra. Okay, but those who are doing it, let them do now. If you are a devotee, why? See, this is what I don't like. Ask pertinent questions. Okay? Ask pertinent questions. You know the meaning of the word pertinent? Pertinent means relevant to the subject. Ask pertinent questions. Don't ask stupid questions like this. It's not a chit chat session I'm having with you here. Okay? This is a very elevated subject we're discussing. And what nonsense you're asking me? How does it matter whether you're IIT or whatever? You go to hell like this if you don't take Krishna consciousness seriously. That's what I'm telling you. The entrance exam will happen at the time of death. Whether you enter, whether the entrance will be to Vaikuntha or entrance to hell, that will be decided at that exam. So that entrance exam you have to prepare for, my dear. So don't ask the stupid questions again. Okay? You be serious in the subject matter. I'm not here to chit chat with you. Alright, so Hare Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. रूप सनातन गोस्वामी की जय. Chad Goswami ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Hare Gaur. Hare Krishna.